We're looking at a Mercedes-Benz bumper here. You notice right here your stamp, PURGF, polyurethane. So this is a polyurethane bumper. You don't get a lot of these anymore because it's going to be a rare situation, an older car or a specialty car. This one, if you look down here, it's got a couple of good cracks in it. This is off a very expensive Mercedes-Benz, a couple $1,000 bumper, so this is one that's definitely worth fixing. So this is what we're going to do today, show you how to work with polyurethane. It's a bit different from what you're used to because this is a thermal set plastic, which means it doesn't actually melt. So we're just going to use the airless welder on this repair. So we're going to start with the prep work. Clean the area with soap and water. Do not use solvent. So the next thing is get a good alignment of your crack. This one is folded over itself, so I had to give it a little twist to break it loose. So anytime material goes to an edge, the first thing you want to do is tee off the edge. You want to, on the inside, I'll weld it this way to give it some strength on the edge. Okay? So polyurethane, oh shoot, turn this baby on. Polyurethane, stamps right here, PUR, is different from all your other plastics. This is old plastic. Okay, so there's your stamp. Polyurethane does not melt. It's what they call a thermal set plastic. So two basic types of plastic, or categories of plastic, would be thermal set and thermal plastics. Thermal set is kind of like your two-part adhesives. So they got a hopper, two hoppers into a mold. They inject two chemicals, they catalyze each other, dries, you got a part. Okay. But like you'll notice when you sand this stuff, it comes off like powder, like Bondo dust. Versus when you sand, say, polyurethane, which is a thermal plastic, it kind of rolls up in little balls and clumps because it's melting when you sand it because you're getting it hot. Okay, so this stuff they stopped using because it's not recyclable. Because once you make a part, you're done. All right, but you will still get it on, like, is this an AMG Benz or is this a regular Brabus? Yeah. Okay. Your M3 will be polycarbonate versus your normal ones, but a lot of your older cars or your specialty cars, like Saline Mustangs, are polyurethane. Okay, so usually if you're doing polyurethane, it's good money. Okay, or it'll be older parts. So if you had a Nissan in here with a polyurethane bumper, it's probably 12 years old. It's probably a totaled Nissan, right? Versus a Corvette, right? Or an older Benz that might be worth some money. So polyurethane should be a moneymaker for you. So what you want to do is take a tapered burr bit and you want to cut a V-groove kind of tight, more than halfway. So 60% deep. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it this way and do my edge, my T weld.
So that's a different rod than you use on regular bumpers too, right?
Well, again, this is polyurethane rod. So whatever you're welding, you've got a whatever the type of plastic is, you've got a plastic rod for it. I'm going to go over the plastic rods with you guys in a minute. Again, this is not a common one. The polyurethane, you just don't get as much of it anymore like we used to.
And you're basically shoving that in so it gets into that groove.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
At the same time, it's kind of heating up the bumper so they kind of mix, yeah?
Yeah, they don't actually...
Well, not mix.
It's more, it's more like gluing. It's more like brazing, where you're running it on top and it's an adhesive weld. Okay, because this stuff doesn't actually melt.
Right.
Okay.
Do you use any kind of like support or anything? Piece of fabric, like to help give it
No, like the mesh and all of that. Yeah, no, that doesn't necessarily work so well in this because, again, it's not fusing it together, and you're basically just filling in the crack. That mesh is really good for adhesives because you're spreading along a long area, you know, so it has some area to bite. Whereas this, I'm just going to run it along a strip, so there's really not a whole lot of place to put it.
Okay.
So you can see nice tight V groove all the way along the crack. When do you guys weld it? Come on.
All right, Robert.
Can't be shy all day.
Come on, Robert Weiss, get in there. Hey, get in there.
So you're just gonna get this.
Can't sign it over to you until you see weld.
There you go. That's a good theory. Not letting you use the equipment until I know you know how to use it. Again, just get it started in there. Lay it down flat. You don't have to go linear. You can go sideways if you want. Just make sure you're got the hole and the crack there. You get a close up of this, Spence? See that? Just feeding it in there.
Yeah.
Be careful touching the steel parts. They will burn you.
Is that how this welder works on all the stuff? The rod goes through the middle of it?
Just polyurethane. Just polyurethane. Okay. So again, polyurethane is unlike all your other plastics. All your other plastics, we're going to use the nitrogen torch.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, you're not going to get a whole lot of this, but when you do, it should be money.
Okay.
Should be real good money. Yeah, and then just smooth it out. So the big thing I try to do is in the corners,
That will probably go across.
I'll do this linear technique where I'll kind of spread it side to side because that's where you really want to build up some strength.
Yeah.
So getting it off to the sides a little bit will give you a little more strength.
More
in it.
spread out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it also helps keep it from separating too.
Yeah,
Builds like that little
exactly.
bridge in a way.
Yeah.
Do that, do you want to put a little extra on top so you can spread it out? Or
Usually got plenty in there. I mean, here you can see how much I'm spreading it right now. You know, and it's in the key thing you want to do is make sure you got a full penetration.
If it bumped off, just keep it a
So
shot
I'm doing
time.
that.
That helps
Number
for-
one thing I'm trying to do is pack it down in there. And then the axis, I'm just trying to spread to the sides to give it a little more adhesion.
So that's why I always, that's why I
The
keep
rod
glass
is
clean it
just
for the shop.
pushing it
Because that
in,
just
so
makes it for,
Shoves it in there,
and
yeah.
shit. Loses parts.
Both
Hey,
windshields
hey,
and forklifts.
steals parts, loses parts. I don't know which one's worse.
I don't steal, dude. I borrow them. I just never bring them back.
Gives them
for money. For profit.
Now you guys are really getting me
Auto
recorded.
shop, right?
Plead the fifth during this video.
It's all being recorded. You know that rock auto?
Yes, but the names will be changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah. It'll be all blurred out like
No, we got it.
So do you, after you're done using that, do you have to usually clean that out
Right,
right
they
away?
blur out.
Or
Yeah, what I'll usually do is blow it out
Or it's slow.
to get all the crap out of it.
yeah.
Saturday Night Live used to do that.
There you go. Yeah. Because while it's hot, that stuff will fly right out of there.
Right, right.
If you let it dry, it can definitely clog. And on the edge, you can just sand the stuff off. That you might want to wait till it warms up, it dries off, and then just sands right off.
Probably peel right off.
Yeah, it sands right
When
off
you do
really
this,
easy.
you're gonna weld both sides or just one side?
Yeah, you're going to weld both sides.
This one came apart already.
Yeah, that's why I said we'll do this one, and then we'll look at how that one stayed together and retape it. But I try to hold it together while I'm doing it, just because sometimes it flops around and it tears it more.
Right.
Right.